Ross Feingold is an Asia political analyst and joins us now from Taipei. Thanks so much for joining us, Ross. Now, tell me, after 2 days of talks, how surprised are you that no deal was reached?
Well, given that the breakdown in negotiations was messaged by President Trump about 10 days ago, so we shouldn't be surprised that no deal was reached within the last few days when Liu He visited Washington. So from that perspective, it's not a surprise that they didn't reach a deal in the last 24 to 48 hours and that President Trump followed through on his promise to increase the tariffs.
Indeed. And also yesterday he tweeted that US-China relations remain very strong, but yet he raised the tariffs on those $200 billion worth of Chinese goods. Can you explain this? It seems like a bit of a paradox.
It's a fair question to ask, but we should also keep in mind President Trump has his negotiating style. He's often said nice things about other leaders with whom most of us would say there's a tension in the relationship between the United States and that leader or that country. And we've seen that across trade as well as security issues, not just with countries that are perceived to be enemies of the United States like North Korea, but even in negotiations with allies, whether in Europe or Canada, Mexico. So from that perspective, a negotiating tactic for President Trump to say that the relationship is otherwise good, we shouldn't be surprised by that either.
And put it into context for us. We've just heard warnings there from the IMF, the French finance minister, also the Secretary General of the UN about the impact on the global economy. Who does this hit the hardest?
Well, from the United States perspective, the economy is doing very well. Unemployment is low. GDP growth is very good. And President Trump is taking some solace, and he's going to rely on the good economic data in the U.S. to allow him to proceed with this tough negotiation with China, which includes one tool of raising tariffs. And whether or not it's good for Europe or the global economy, that's not President Trump's primary concern, understandably. His first concern is what's good for the United States. And the broader context we should also keep in mind is we're heading into the United States presidential election campaign season. And President Trump is going to look to be the candidate who says, I'm tough on China. And if there's a deal that President Trump deems good for the United States, he'll campaign on that. And it's going to be up to the Democrats to make an argument that somehow President Trump has done something that's bad for the economy.
All right, Ross, thank you very much indeed. Ross Feingold, Asia political analyst, speaking to us there from Taipei.